The mission no one thought would change the war. April 12, 1944. 21,000 feet above the Ardennes forest, eastern Belgium. The sky is a flat, lifeless gray that eats sound and distance. Frost creeps across the inside of the P-47 Thunderbolt's canopy as First Lieutenant Robert Hale grips the stick tighter. The massive Pratt & Whitney are 2,800 engine thunders like a caged beast, shaking the entire airframe, rattling his teeth. Oxygen hisses steadily through his mask. Somewhere ahead, hidden in the clouds, German fighters are climbing fast to intercept. Hale flies with the 365th Fighter Group, the Hellhawks. Today's orders are routine. Escort bombers, strafe rail yards, disrupt supply lines. Nothing special, except for what's been bolted onto his plane. 3 nights earlier, ground crews at a muddy forward strip near Florennes worked under blackout lanterns. No official approval, no blueprints. They welded rough steel plates, scavenged from wrecked vehicles right behind the oil cooler intake. Others reinforced the wing roots with whatever armor they could find. The welds were ugly. Bolts were hand-drilled. It looked like a desperate hack. Pilots have been dying the same way for weeks. 20mm cannon shells punching under the nose, shredding oil lines, engines seizing in seconds. Most never had time to bail out. One crew chief muttered, half joking, half praying, "What if we just block it?" Command didn't authorize it. They didn't forbid it either. So the planes flew. Now Hale feels the extra weight every second. The Thunderbolt is already a heavy beast, unforgiving if you mishandle it. With the added steel, it climbs slower. Controls feel mushy. If the Germans knew, they'd laugh. Then the radio crackles. Bandits. 11 o'clock high. Silver-Nose BF-109s dive out of the clouds like sharks. Tracers streak across the sky. Hale slams the throttle forward and rolls hard right. The airframe groans. A 20mm shell slams into the nose with a deafening clang, like a sledgehammer on an anvil. Hale braces. He waits for the engine to cough. Seas die. It doesn't. Oil pressure holds steady. RPM doesn't drop. The Thunderbolt keeps flying. Another hit. Sharp metallic crack. Smoke and the smell of scorched metal fill the cockpit. Hale dives hard, using the P-47's massive weight to build speed. The Messerschmitt overshoots. Hale lines up and fires. 8.50 caliber machine guns roar. The 109 disintegrates in a fireball. The fight is over in under 4 minutes. The sky empties. Only drifting smoke and falling debris remain. Back at base, Hale climbs down on shaky legs. Crew Chief Sergeant William Kovacs stares at the shredded nose. Paint burned away. Cowling torn open. Shrapnel scars spiderweb out from the oil cooler. But the engine is untouched. Pilots crowd around. Fingers trace the jagged holes. Someone taps the crude steel plate with a wrench. It rings solid. No data. No tests. Just one plane that took hits that should have killed it, and didn't. Within days, more Thunderbolts get the same treatment. Each slightly different, shaped by whatever scrap the crews could find and the imagination of their chiefs. The Germans notice. Their pilots report American jugs, taking direct cannon hits and flying on. Reports climb the chain. No one has an explanation. The wreck that refused to die quietly. May 3rd, 1944. A muddy field outside Dinant, Belgium. The downed Thunderbolt lies at a shallow angle, almost dignified. One wing sheared off. Propeller blades curled back like tinfoil. But the cockpit canopy is open. The pilot walked away. Captain Harold Winthrop, engineering officer, steps carefully through the mud. He expects to catalog another fatal failure. Instead, he finds something impossible. The oil cooler intake is shredded. Beneath the torn skin, the crude steel plate is warped and scarred by multiple direct hits. Yet the oil lines behind her are crushed, but not cut. Winthrop frowns. This isn't in any manual. German 20mm Minengeschoss shells are designed to punch through thin aluminum, then explode inside. Extra armor should make it worse, giving the shell more material to arm against. But the damage pattern tells a different story. He calls over a metallurgist. They examine the plate. Mild steel, uneven thickness, sloppy welds. Textbook garbage. Yet every shell that hit it behaved strangely. Some detonated outward, some too early, some not at all. Fragments sprayed sideways, away from vital parts. Winthrop realizes the plate isn't stopping the shells. It's confusing them. The rough, uneven surface causes shells to yaw. Variable thickness messes with fuse timing. The German ammunition, optimized for clean penetration, fails when it meets chaos. This crude hack accidentally exploits a flaw in enemy weapon design. Word spreads fast through back channels. Other groups start adding their own improvised plates. Losses begin to drop. Across the lines, German pilots complain their 20mm cannons feel suddenly ineffective. Gun camera footage shows solid hits, followed by American fighters flying away, trailing smoke. Berlin drafts memos about possible fuse changes. Too late, when theory lost to battlefield chaos. June 14, 1944. Normandy, 2 days after D-Day. An advanced airstrip hacked out of hedgerows near Corentin. The air reeks of wet earth and cordite. Major Thomas Avery, operations officer, listens as Captain Winthrop explains the findings on a smudged chalkboard. Arrows show shell paths. Circles mark explosions that went wrong for the Germans. Avery isn't convinced. He's a fighter pilot. He trusts results, not theories. But the numbers don't lie. Planes are coming back with damage that used to be fatal. Pilots are living. That afternoon, Avery flies a strafing run. Flak bursts all around. A 20mm shell punches into his wing beam. The plane shudders. Warning lights flash, then steady. He lands safely. Mechanics peel back panels. Steel plate crushed inward. Aluminum shredded. Fuel line intact. Avery says nothing. He doesn't need to. What unsettles the engineers most isn't that the hack works. It's that no existing theory explains why. Standard models assume predictability. Thicker equals better. Smooth equals stronger. But the battlefield gives chaos. Uneven welds, bent plates, slight differences in every installation. And that chaos breaks the German shell's delicate timing. The shell that finally told the truth. July 22nd, 1944. A field outside Vire, Normandy. Another thunderbolt down, hard but controlled belly landing. The pilot survives with a broken leg. Recovery teams find something extraordinary on a tarp. A complete German 20mm shell. Still lodged halfway through the steel plate. Nose crushed. Fuse jammed. Never detonated. Winthrop kneels beside it, pulse racing. The shell hit at a shallow angle. The plate deformed just enough to bend the striker, crack the delay element, and stop the explosion sequence cold. This single piece of unexploded ordnance explains everything. The improvised armor doesn't block the shell. It disrupts the exact chain of events the shell needs to work. More examples follow. Some shells explode too soon. Some too late. Some never. A formal report finally goes up the chain, with photos, diagrams, recover parts. This one can't be ignored. Quiet orders follow. Add thin, uneven disruption plates ahead of critical systems. Not heavy armor. Just enough irregularity to confuse enemy fuses. Installation stays mostly field level. The war doesn't wait for perfection. Too late for the Germans to fully adapt. By August, American fighters roam deeper with growing confidence. Planes still take hits. Some still go down. But the odds have shifted, quietly, decisively. The lesson buried in the scars. September 3rd, 1944. A repair depot near Reims. Rows of battered fighters wait for patches. Each scar tells a story of survival. Captain Winthrop walks the line and stops at a thunderbolt with a spiderweb of hits around the nose. Beneath fresh paint. That same crude, uneven steel plate welded months ago in the dark. This plane has flown 37 more missions since taking damage that once meant certain death. What began as desperate improvisation has quietly become standard practice. Never officially named, never in glossy manuals. Briefings now mention disruption layers and fuse uncertainty. The language is cautious. The meaning is clear. You don't always need to stop the enemy weapon. Sometimes, you just need to confuse it. After the war, the lesson lives on in classified reports and quiet conversations that shape future designs, from jet fighters to spacecraft. Not all protection comes from strength. Some comes from deliberate imperfection. Winthrop never takes credit. The discovery belongs to the pilots who kept flying wounded planes home, and to the crew chiefs who, one desperate night, welded scrap steel onto a fighter. Because doing nothing felt worse than trying something crazy. And in the chaos of war, crazy sometimes wins.